when this chapter was introduced, when the BCK was introduced, the total questions asked from this chapter is 12 marks from only this chapter. So minimum 8 to 10 marks they used to ask from this chapter. Such a lengthy chapter, important chapter from professional point of view as well as exam point of view. Let us see some points on this. So, what is chapter name, Nana? So you know about this chapter, right? Okay. We'll try to cover almost maximum topics, Nana. Maximum points on this. Clear? So we'll see here. Any doubts in the previous chapters? Introduction to BCK, environment, organizations of facilitating for business, government policy for growth. So ఇవన్నీ చెప్పేశారా? చెప్పేశాము. Okay, next. Let us see here. Amma. ఏందంటారు బాగా? ఏంద్ర VIP? Okay. So coming to point now. Common business terminologies. In this chapter, we are going to see a few definitions. Right? Only few. There will be only few definitions in this chapter regarding finance, banking, stocks, marketing, and other related comprehensive definitions. Let us see those few definitions in this 2 hours class. Starting now. So, before analyzing any business, we should know different aspects of the business. One among them is technical facet. What it is? It's all about how many raw materials and what is the output that we can transform from the raw materials to output. Technically, a business may be viewed as a transformation process. A huge machine where inputs are converted into outputs. If you are dealing with a business, you should know what is the process methodology you are using, how much output that you can produce from the quantity of inputs. Next, commercial facet. What it is? Commercial facet is nothing but about the how we can make our product to be launched in the launched in the market. How we can do the service in the market. How it is oriented in respect of revenues and all. Let us see here. It is all about marketing management. It will tell us about how you can plan, organize, direct, control all with the customers and the markets. So it deals with the goods with 4 P's. One is product, price, place, promotions, right? So product should be how to fulfill the purpose for what it was established. Price, it should be somewhat reasonable. Place, it should be available and accessible to each and every consumer. Promotions, it's needed to be done for our commodity to be promoted to sales. We can do the promotion either by the direct person to person, oral communication, written communication, media communication, social network communication, any way. Services marketing comprise additional piece. Services, which like people, physical evidences, and then processes. All these 3 P's are required for successful service marketing. Financial facet, it all tells about the how much of accounts books that we are maintaining, profit and loss that we are accruing, and all those things. So financially, it will tell about the financial perspective implies that investments and the associated returns and risk. Thus, it includes other different sources of finances and the development of financial markets. So it includes profit and loss account, preparation, balance sheet, and everything. HR facet, what it is, Nana? Human resource managements. So this person will employ, will recruit the employees from various diversified educational field and from various diversified management experienced persons. From HR perspective, it is all about people occupying different jobs, positions, and performing their respective roles, responsibilities, and functions. Their competencies, character, individual motivation, collective comfort have a decisive effect on organization's performance. If you are thinking that HR is not doing performance well, all the employees cannot have proper coordination among them and they cannot continue the business organizations to work well. Administrative facet. This BCK pertains to forms of business organizations, but administrative facet is all related to organizations, regulations, approvals, clearances, and everything. It also refers to the internal management and governance process. Even more exciting is signage and symbolizes. Will give good communication to us. What and all this, Nana? So definition wise also will communicate, but symbols will give more explanatory variables to us. So these are the different symbols that will communicate to us. Randomly we can see some topics, Nana. So for example, this, what it is, Nana? Do not roll. If there is any packing container, you should not roll the box. If you roll it, automatically there may be disturbance in the internal equipment things. For example, refrigerator is there. Can you roll it as you feel difficulty to lift it up? Can you roll it up? It's not possible. Even if you roll up, what happens is internal gas will get disturbed and it maybe leads to the explosion also sometimes. So, and coming to here, don't use the hooks. What it is? There will be heavy weighted gunny bags. In order to remove from them from the lorry truck, you will use some hooks to lag it over near to the near end of the lorry and transportation vehicles. For these commodities, don't use these hooks. For example, if that gunny bag is containing more number of water packets, example water packets, if you use the hook, what happens? If that hook is connected to the water packets, those will get leaked. Is it clear, Nana? That is why you should not use those hooks and for those gunny bags and all. Heavy weight, do not lift. If you lift up without any support, then you will get pain. Your waist will get ache. So waist aches will be there. All these things will be there. So it is heavily weighted. So do not lift it up directly without having any support. All these are symbols which will communicate more than 2 to 3 lines. Can you say like this? There is a speed breaker, go slow. Can you say these things in local language? If you print in a local language when you are going on the traffic roads, what we have to do? We have to stop the vehicle aside and we have to read the sentences. We need to communicate it. We need to understand it and then start the bike. Is this can be possible and all? No. But if the sign is indicating a up, so speed pump is there, then automatically because of seeing that bump or because of seeing that up, we can know that there is a speed breaker ahead. Is it clear, Nana? So these are the symbols that will communicate us more than 3 to 4 line in definitions. So even you can see in the food packets, if it is a green color, it's said to be as a purely veg and all. So there is something called codes, universal product code. So if you went to a big stores, they won't make a list of items in the invoice bill by entering writing with the paper. Always they will use a scanner. Once they scan the commodities product code, automatically it will give us how many quantity, what is the price of it, and everything will be come out. Quick response code, what it is, Nana? QR code. This is the latest added in the examination paper, Nana. Quick response code, what it is? QR code. So it is a white background which was where the black color square was arranged with the different symbols, and all together will give one scanner for a unified transportation for the unified making payment interfaces. A QR code consists of black square arranged in a square grid on a white background, which can be read by an imaging device such as camera. Until the image can be appropriately interpreted, the required data is then extracted from patterns that are present in both horizontal and vertical components of the image. Even for example, if you wanted to send a MB data, what you can do? You can go to create this QR code for that. If you download that QR code, automatically it can extract the entire Word document without missing any word also, without missing any letters. In such a way, this QR code can help us. Next one, Nana. Basic terminologies, business, which includes more entire spectrum of activities, maybe production, distribution, or many things. Industry and Nana, production side. Commerce is related to exchange of goods and services. If it is only the goods, it is related to trade. If it is services, it is related to aids to trade or auxiliaries to trade. Clear, Nana? That's about the commerce. Now let us see the terminologies in relation to banking and all. So see carefully, Nana. Commercial bank, what it is? Commercial banks are those which accepts the money from the depositors and use the same money to give as a loan to some other persons. They will charge higher rate of interest from the loan persons, and they will provide interest to the persons who have deposited money into the commercial banks. Is it clear, Nana? But these commercial banks or the institutions dealing with accepting deposits, granting loans. There are 4 types of commercial banks: public sector banks, private sector banks, so foreign banks, regional rural banks like Chaitanya, Godavari, Gramina Bank and all. Next, coming to the cooperative bank, what it is? Cooperative banks are those which are state cooperative, formed through the Cooperative Societies States Act. It is meant for providing cheap credit to the members. That is, if it is a commercial bank, it will provide the loan at higher rate of interest to the members, to the non-members also. But for this cooperative banks, it will provide lesser rate of interest to the member persons who have taken the deposit in that same bank. Zero balance account, what is this? So due to the latest guidelines on the bank and all, what they have decided is they wanted to keep minimum balance. What is the meaning of this minimum balance? You are not allowed to withdraw entire money from your savings account. You are liable to maintain some amount as a minimum balances. But there is something called a zero balance account. What means it is? You can withdraw entire money from your bank account maintaining zero as a balance. So that is called zero balance account. Does not require any minimum balance. Current account, what it is? An account opened by the business entrepreneurs with the commercial banks. Why? Because if they have opened the savings account, what happens here is the bankers will have some limit. The bank will impose some limitations on the savings account holder. They may not withdraw more than some limit. They can't do the transactions of withdrawing and depositing continuously in a day. So as there are many restrictions, but if these restrictions, the business person cannot do the business smoothly. For them, they have made something called current account. But for this current account, the bankers will not pay any interest to the current account outstanding balance. But for savings account, they will pay the balance, or they will pay the interest on balance. A bank account opened by the businessman who have higher number of transactions with the bank, from which money can be withdrawn as many times as needed. Next, account payee check. See, when we are discussing about the commercial banks, actually there are something called CASA. CASA means current account and savings account. All together it is called as demand deposits. What is, remember, demand deposits? If a person is having current account, whenever he demand the bank to draw the amount to make the payment, they have to do that. Savings account is also same thing. If you are going to withdraw the money from ATM by using debit card, the bank should supposed to transfer the amount hardly, like hard cash, you have to be withdrawn, right? So that is called demand deposit. Whenever you are demanded, the bank should be ready to pay you back. Next, there's something called time liabilities or time deposits. What are those time deposits? Fixed deposit, time deposit, recurring deposit, time deposit or term deposit. We can use anything. So what are these things, Nana? We will deposit now, that is 10th data. We will deposit now of something around 2 lakhs, and we request the bank that create FD on this date for this amount, and we are ready to take out after 2 years from now. Is it clear, Nana? That is called as fixed deposit. Can you cancel that before the closure, before the time and all? No. If you want to close, you are allowed to close it before the maturity. But for example, for 2 years, if the bank are ready to pay you about 10% as rate of interest, if you want to close before the maturity level, then what happens? If you want to close before the maturity, then the bank will pay you only 7%. Why the change of 3%, Nana? It is a withdrawal penalty imposed on the depositor. Is it clear, Nana? So, in the same way, recurring deposit also. Recurring deposit is different, Nana. What it is? Now, we have opened one account saying that after 5 years, I will close this recurring deposit account. Okay. On every month of 10th, we will deposit such an minimum amount or same balance or same amount into this recurring deposit. Recurring means we are doing the activity again and again and again and again and again and again till maturity time. Is it clear, Nana? This is also one type of a recurring deposit. There will be something called time deposits or term deposits. For this, you cannot cancel before the maturity. But if you want the money suddenly, then what you can do? You can treat this term deposit certificate as a security, and you can ask the bank to provide loan against to this security. Is it clear, Nana? So cancel avvakapote manam deenine security ga petti manam kavalante deni paina loan teesesukovachu. Okay na? Let us see some points, Nana. Account payee check. What it is? X is a person who is having something called savings account in SBI branch. Now what they want to do? X want to transfer some 10,000 rupees to a person called Y who is having account in Punjab National Bank. So how they can transfer now? By processing a check. Is it clear, Nana? Now this check we are making to payment called Y, and the X person had signed here with the date of 10th 5th 2022 with an amount of 10,000 in words as well as the amount in figure. Here the account number with all the IFSC codes, everything is there in bottom of the check. Everything is done. Now we have surrendered this check to Y. You know what Y did? Y have transferred this check to Z. Is it clear, Nana? So, and again it was transferred to person P on Q. Now what is happening actually? Can the Q can get the money back from any bank? Not possible. Not possible, because there is a name called Y. Only Y can withdraw in cash. That too from SBI only, not from Punjab National Bank. For example, a check was passed without any name, then it is called as bearer check. Now this Y had transferred to Z to P, P, Q, Q to R and all those things. Now R can withdraw the amount of 10,000 from SBI only. This is called as bearer check. Clear, Nana? Done. Now coming to the other one now. In order to overcome these problems, because if you, for example, mistakenly you had made this check was misplaced, then automatically anyone can have right to dispose this check, right? That is why they maintained one more process of making the transfers in the name of account payee. They will make two parallel lines on the top left corner and they will write something called account payee. Payee means the person who is receiving. Payer is a person who is paying, right? Account payee. And mentioned that to Y. Same 10,000 rupees. And in the votes also 10,000 only. And normally we will do all these things and all. Because if you have not done, automatically what can happen? They may write some other numbers. Is it right? So account number will be there, IFSC code will be there, and signature and date, everything will be there. Why the date is required here? Because the check is having a life of 3 months. After 3 months it will be expired. Now what happening now? Now Y, where he is having account, Nana? Punjab National Bank. And this was made by the X who is having account in SBI. Now what was happening now? X transferred check to Y, which is written with the account payee. So Y can only take the amount through his account, not in the cash. Because it said that account pay, account only through account it will get paid. So what happens now? Now the Y will deposit this check in his Punjab National Bank. In Punjab National Bank there will be one employee. That employee will come to there will be clearing house. He will come to this clearing house. He will contact with the SBI employee. Hello SBI, do you have any customer with the name X? Yes, I have. It is my customer. Tell me. Do you think this X signature is correct? Yes, it is correct. Then transfer this amount to Y through Punjab National Bank. Now what SBI will do? SBI will go and check the X account whether he is having money or not. If it is having so, then they transfer 10,000 rupees to the clearing house to the Punjab National Bank to Y account. Is it clear, Nana? So in this clearing house, employees will come and meet together. But now everything is done through the electronical media, electronical clearing house. under the purview of Central Bank of India. Nothing but RBI. Clear nana? So idanta koda account pay check ani pilustamo. Account pay check, a check which can be only credited to the bank account of the payee. Bearer check, encashed by its holder on the bank counter, it is transferable by mere delivery, but you can get the cash only from the SBI and not from any other bank branches also. You have to go to the home branch of the X person. Clearing house. So just now we have seen clearing house, right? It will bank. So the representatives, that is employees of Punjab National Bank, SBI, will come together. They will meet for confirming all the checks and the balances with each other. Next, automated clearing houses. That is, previously representatives will come and meet, but now everything will be done through the automated banking system. That is, electronically. Everything will be done through the RBI. So it is managed by the Central Bank. Automated teller machines, ATMs. What is this, Nana? They will conduct the transactions with the bank through the ATM machines electronically. Here, computers, electronical, banking data and solutions, everything will get together correlatedly, works together to provide cash to us. Credit card, what it is? You can use the money even though you are not having liquid amount in your bank balances. Credit card is nothing but banks will provide some credit facilities to the users. So you can pay now, you can buy the commodities now and you can pay them later. What is meant by e-cash, Nana? It is also known as digital cash, electronical cash. So it is a technology where we will use of electronic, computer, internet and other networks to execute transactions and transfer the funds from one account to another. Cashier's check, what it is? Sometimes even banks also will meet some expenses, right? For example, SBI Bank is there. It was taken one building for rental purpose. Now this bank need to pay the building rent to the building owner. Is it right? They will not pay through the cash. They will pay through the check. And the payments done by the bank or the payments done by the bank to nearby tea shop vendor persons, or the bank is paying any payment to any other individuals, then these checks, as it was raised by the persons of bank or people, it is called as cashier's check. It is drawn on its own name to make payments to other organizations, banks, corporations or even individuals. Cash credit, what it is, Nana? It is a revolving arrangement from a bank which allow customer to borrow some amount specified and interest will be charged only on the amount that was actually withdrawn. What is internet banking, Nana? Through this, you can access to your savings account, current account, fixed deposit, online deposit, any other deposits that you have with the bank. And with that bank, you can also see the transactions that you have made, last 10 transactions, or monthly wise or yearly wise also. You can view all the transactions. It is called as internet banking, also called as online banking or e-banking. Wholesale banking, that is, banks normally provide deposits and lending business. But not only that, the banks also provide some other facilities of accepting bills receivable or making a payment to the outside countries or having a forward contract, having a future contract, having a contract of relating to LOC, a letter of credit. All these things can be done in wholesale banking, things to the corporate entities or to large individuals. Smart cards. These are cards which are provided by the people to have the personal identifications and all. It will process computer chip and which can use as a data storage, processing and identification. Time deposit. What are these, Nana? These are not able to withdraw before a time fixed when making the deposit. So we cannot withdraw this before the maturity. Early withdrawal penalty. If you are withdrawing the deposit before it is getting maturity, if the banks had told that they will pay 12% as rate of interest, but because of early withdrawal, they will pay lesser interest. And early withdrawal penalty is basically a penalty that is levied because of early withdrawal penalty. And it is, what is this, Nana? It is paying to a institution like systematically, maybe because of monthly, quarterly, yearly, off yearly or any time. And you are getting the amount in lump sum or in return of many investments. There are different types of annuities here. Certificate of deposit. What it is, Nana? This is certificate given for the saving deposits and all. So it was given by the bank to say about that this is the outstanding amount balance which is in the bank account. Accepting house, that is a financial institution which will accept the bills receivable, banks, negotiable instruments, other bonds and everything for providing some advances. Accepting houses. Education loan or students loan, what it is? So a loan provided by the banker to the people who are studying for further studies. But the repayment will start after some years and the interest also will be calculated as per the agreement basis. Education loan or student loan. The period of repayment starts after the completion of period of loan. Chattel mortgage, what it is? Loan against the movable assets as a collateral security is called as chattel mortgage. What is when the normal mortgage? Loan against a fixed assets. Zero down payment. And zero down payment. So normally when you are purchasing a commodity, you can make a payment of 10,000. For example, if you are purchasing a 1 lakh rupees worth of commodity, if you are purchasing 1 lakh rupees worth of commodity, then you and shopkeeper agreed to pay 10,000 rupees as a down payment now, and remaining 90,000 will be paid in installment basis. But whereas a zero down payment, when you are purchasing a commodity, there is no required to pay any 1 rupee also. You will make zero down payment and get the commodity as you wish. That is called as zero down payment. Who does not make any down payment while borrowing? Administered rates, what it is? Actually, these are not really happening now. What is this, Nana? These rates are exchangeable. Lender and the borrower. Lender and the borrower. They agreed that they provided 2 lakhs amount which we need to pay back in 3 years with a rate of interest 10%. But after the transaction was done, lender wanted to increase the rate of interest from 10% to 12%. Can it done so? Of course. If they agree, they can do, because it is unorganized market. So if borrower accepts it, they can do. In the same way, the borrower may request the lender to charge only 7% as rate of interest. If they have done all these such changes, this is called as administered rates and everything. So these are can be done in between the depositor and the lender also, but now it is not prevailing in the market. Lock-in period, what it is, Nana? If you have started a deposit of 2 years, then you have to wait 2 years to get over to get maturity. That is called as lock-in period. A guarantee given by the lender, there will be no change in the quoted mortgage rates. Here what they are conveying is in these 2 years, I don't want to change the interest rates, but after 2 years, it may change. Cap, what is the cap, Nana? If the rate of interest keeps on changes, it may reach a very maximum and it can go beyond my capacity to pay. So what we are deciding is, as the rate of interest is fluctuating, we are maintaining some cap. Cap in the sense that is the maximum limit that a body can have, right? So can you use anything more than that above the cap? Nothing. So that is a cap, means it is a maximum rate, that is a limit the increase in interest rates. Value at risk, what it is, Nana? Some portion of investment that is subject to a loss, that is known as value at risk. Syndicated loan, what it is? Sometimes an organization may demand 10,000 crores of money as a cash, as a loan. Now they asked about the SBI people to lend the money. They said, no, it is not possible. Axis Bank, they said it is not possible. ICAI Bank, they said it is not possible. And they asked for the something called Punjab National Bank, it is not possible. So what they asked now? Made as a one group and asked them to give the entire cash. So now each individual bank contributed some amount to form 10,000 crores and given a loan to the X person through the SBI. Now this is called as syndicated oligopoly. Mangalam Seno. Kadanana? Done. Letter of credit. What is LOC or LC? LOC or LC? What it is, Nana? Super. అంటే ఏంటో అమౌంట్ ఇస్తారు వాళ్ళు. ఇంకా ఎక్స్ కంపెనీ ఇన్ ఇండియా, ఇట్ వాంట్ టు డూ సమ్ ఇంపోర్ట్స్ ఫ్రమ్ ద USA, but there is a company called Z Incorporation which is situated in USA. They don't have trust on us. We want to purchase that on the credit basis, but they don't have trust on us. So what they have requested is, they requested us to create some security. That is why I requested, that is X requesting his bank SBI to give some security. Now SBI is giving some letter of credit saying that X is my customer, X is having so much of balance. If X could not able to pay you back for the imported money, then I will pay the amount to the Z. Don't worry, I am there here. Is called as letter of credit. For providing this guarantee by bank to X company, they will charge some extra LOC charges. Letter of credit issued by a bank stating that commitment to pay a third party in the other country. Next, bridge financing. When there is a gap between the short term loan and the long term loan, in this between the time, if the bank is providing extra finances, it is called as bridge financing or gap financing. Cash reserve, it is the total amount of cash available in the bank account which can be withdrawn at any time. Bank rate, it is the interest rate charged by Central Bank of India on scheduled commercial banks. So interest rate charged by central bank which is lent to the commercial banks. Repo rate, it is a rate for the short duration. Repo rate, it is the charge of rate of interest by the RBI on commercial banks for the amount taken as a loan from RBI to commercial banks for the short term purpose. Against to securities, that is repo rate. Rate at which commercial banks borrow money from RBI for up to 2 weeks, that is a shorter duration. Next, reverse repo rate, that is interest offered by RBI to the banks. These also for the short periods. SLR, statutory liquidity ratio. Commercial banks require to maintain some amount with their reserves itself in the form of gold, cash, reserves, government securities, which can be readily convertible into the liquid cash. Cash reserve ratio, this is the amount that we need to maintain with the RBI. Basis points, what is this basis points, Nana? What is this basis points? See, it is measurement in change in financial parameters. So how it can be denoted in a 1/100th of 1%. So 1 base points is equal to 0.01%. For example, do you know this 1 rupee is equals to 100 paise? In the same way, 1% is written as 100 basis points. Is it clear, Nana? If you want to tell about this percentage changes, you can use these basis points to denote the changes. Next,